Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Mad Money Murph. My name is John Murphy, and my mission is to inspire you to take charge of your money so that you can become financially free and live a better life. I first wanted to make a quick note about my previous video about the EIDL and let you know that the link that was in there, it was right. Although at this point, I've tried to go to it today, and at this point, that link it takes you to the SBA website, but it doesn't take you to the same place where you can actually apply for the loan. In that video, I had mentioned that we were waiting to see if that link would become live again. It hasn't become live, and when I look at everything, what I believe has happened is the people who had applied to it previously, they're being taken care of first. And I think that those people are just being still taken care of, and who knows whether or not that link is going to come back up, whether they run out of money or not. So anyways, that is a quick recap of what I did last week and an update for that video. In today's video, I want to talk about Dave Ramsey and his 7 steps. For those of you who don't know, Dave Ramsey, without question, is the leader in helping people get out of debt, become debt-free, and investing for their future. He's a national best-selling author and has a radio show about those same topics. So he's really out there doing a lot of work for this, and today I wanted to review those 7 steps that come from his book, The Total Money Makeover. So without further ado, we'll go through the baby steps and I'll give you my take. I'll tell you what they are about and I'll give you my take and we'll go from there. So baby step 1 is to save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. Now, let's make sure that we're very clear here. It says a starter emergency fund. Later in the steps, we're gonna get to the point where we do a fully funded emergency fund. So save $1,000, and I can tell you, I love that this is the first step. Do whatever it takes to get that $1,000. Whether you have to eat, as he would say, rice and beans, beans and rice. Do whatever you have to do. Get a second job, get an Uber, deliver pizzas, whatever you have to do to get that $1,000. And once you have that $1,000, I'm telling you, you will feel so good about what you've accomplished. You'll feel so good about what you've done. You'll want to just keep going with these steps. So step 1, save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. I agree with him 100%. I think it's very important, and it's good for your mindset as well to get going on these steps, to start with that one. So step 2 is pay off all of your debt except for the house using the debt snowball. So what he's talking about is the debt snowball is taking your smallest debt first. So attack the small debts and move on to the larger debts. So if you have, say, a credit card that you have $500 or $1,000 due, and then you have a car loan that has, say, $13,000, you're going to want to start with your smaller debt, which is the credit card debt, first. Now, there's a couple of different reasons for that. Number one, it helps your mindset when you're actually making progress, right? And then once you actually finally do pay that debt off, it does something in your mind to make you want to keep going. So I agree with him 100%. Take your smaller debts, pay them off first, and then move on to your larger debts. It's super expensive or super important to do it that way. A lot of people out there would say, well, why don't I go with the one that has the highest interest? You know, at this point, we're not worried about interest. Because at this point, what you're doing is you're just trying to get little wins so that you can get get big wins in the future. So start with the little wins and move from there. Step number 3 is save 3 to 6 months of expenses for a fully funded emergency fund. I alluded to this earlier in step number 1 that eventually you'll get there. So once you get your $1,000, set that aside, put it under the bed, do whatever you want. You're not going to be investing that money. You're not going to be trying to earn a lot of interest. It's not going to earn a lot of interest anyways. So put it under the bed, do whatever you need to do to keep it away from you. Step number 2, pay off your debts, smallest to largest. Step number 3, save 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses. Now, it's super important to remember 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses, not of your income, of your expenses. So by this point, I would hope that you're using some type of a budget. And I recommend, I'm very good with finances, and yet I still use the Every Dollar app that's available for free on Dave Ramsey's website. I just still use the free version. So at this point, if you're not on a written budget, go out and get that app, and it will definitely help you. And you'll be able to see what your expenses are by using that app. You know, even for myself, before I started using the app, being good with money, I still didn't know what my expenses were. And you'd be surprised to see what your expenses are once you start using that. But again, 3 to 6 months. Don't go crazy. If you think you can just do 3, just do 3. Set yourself a goal. Hey, I'm going to save 3 months worth of my expenses for my fully funded emergency fund, and go from there. If you keep moving forward and you're doing well and you want to get 6 months, again, set yourself another goal. Goal setting is super important here, especially right here with this step. Step number 4, by the way, I love that step. It's great. I'm a full-time realtor, and they tell you the same thing when you go to real estate school. And my father was a realtor as well, growing up, and he always said the same thing. Have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. So it really came naturally to me, but even if it doesn't come naturally to you, just set yourself a goal. 3 to 6 months of expenses. Love that step. It's great. And it's helped my wife and I through this really hard time right now with the pandemic hitting the whole world. This has really helped, and we're less stressed because we have that fully funded emergency fund. Step number 4 is to invest 15% of your household income into retirement. Great. If you get to step number 4 and you can do that, great. If you have a company match, absolutely. Say if they're matching 3%, absolutely go with at least 3%. If you are at a company where you can't do that full 15%, or depending on if you're married, you might need to divvy the 15% up between different accounts. Say your wife maybe works and she has a 401k, 403b, something like that, where you could do 3, 6, 10%, whatever there. But then you can also do, say, like I'm self-employed. So what we do for me is we max out a Roth IRA. And that, at this point during the filming of this, it's 2020. And the max that we can do there is $6,000. So what we've done this year is, and we like the fact that we can invest in a Roth IRA, which is taxed differently than 401k, which is taxed. You get taxed today. It's tax-free money when you pull it out later. So what we've done is, I have an IRA, my wife, Roth IRA, my wife, we have a Roth IRA. We max both of those out, $6,000 each. And then the other remaining for the 15% we do in her 401k, because she does have a small match. So that's what we've decided to do. I absolutely agree with him here. But I also feel, I come from a real estate background, and I also feel if you can fit some real estate investing into this, Dave Ramsey, he also invests in real estate. And the thing is, he makes it look easier because he has a lot of income. So I like this step. It's great. You need to invest. You need to invest for the long term. But also, if you can fit some real estate investing in there, I would think that would be a good thing. Okay, baby step number 5. Save for your children's college fund. Yeah, by this point, I mean, you're in good hands. You're sitting good. You're pretty. You've got your fully funded emergency fund. You've got your you're investing at least 15% of your income. And sure, if you have children and you want them to go to college, I think it's a great time to start investing for your children's college fund in baby step number 5. Now, he talks a lot about different ways to invest that money. What I've chosen to do is a little bit abnormal. There are a lot of different college funds out there that you can do, like College Invest and things like this, where you invest that money. But the problem that I've seen is a lot of that money is only to be used for very specific things that surround college and types of schools and things like that. So what we've chosen to do is we've got an UTMA account. Or an UGMA. There's UTMA and UGMA. And Universal, I can't remember what UTMA stands for. Universal Transfer of Minors account. And what that is, it's basically what we've done is just picked mutual funds and have started an account for our 2 boys. And so we are just investing in, we don't get any tax breaks for this, and they won't get any tax breaks either when they go to take it out. But the reason why I chose it to do it this way was I don't want them to be limited on how they can use that money. If, let's say in the future that they wanted to go to a trade school, I don't want any limitations there whatsoever. I don't think there are with the College Invest plans. But again, I don't want there to be any type of stipulations on what they're going to do. Or let's say that they wanted to start their own business. Well, we're growing the money to where they can maybe start a business. What if they want to go into real estate? Well, hopefully this will have 3 to 6 months worth of their expenses and they can go into real estate. So those are just my beliefs. I know more millionaires that are trades folk, like electricians, plumbers, people like that. I know more people like that are millionaires than I do of other types of millionaires. So I'm a believer in that. And that's why we decided to go that way. So again, if my boys also, I mean, here we are with YouTube. What if they want to start a YouTube channel business? I agree with that. So that's why we chose to do it this way. We are invested in mutual funds for them without any of the tax benefits or any of the, it seemed a little bit more of a hassle as well to do it the other way through the College Invest type of system. And it's so limiting, so limiting as to what you can do with it. That's just, so we just decided to do it this way. On to baby step number 6. Baby step number 6 is to pay off your home early. Boy, imagine how it would feel to have your home paid off. I do have a stat here from Zillow that says approximately 37% of the U.S. households are free and clear. Oh my goodness. I when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. I didn't realize that there would be that many households that were free and clear, but there are. So it can be done. People do it. My wife and I, this is kind of where we're at on this step, figuring out how to pay our home off early. Now, I just started selling real estate full time here last January, and now, we're going to be held off a little bit with the virus, and, things are changing rapidly. So, but we're trying to figure out exactly how we can tackle that, paying it off early. But imagine how you would feel, again, if your house was paid off early. At this point, what Dave recommends is just throw everything extra at the house to get it done. And again, we're trying to figure that out with one that's very employed very well, and myself that's self-employed. Don't know, it's a roller coaster. And so we don't really know how it's going to look, but we're trying to figure that out. So Love it. Love the step. I think it would be very, very wise to get to that point. And yeah, love it. So the next step is, well, it's a no-brainer. Baby step number 7 is build wealth and give. So Dave's program is a bit more of a Christian-based program, and I like that. He has a lot of biblical references throughout his teachings, and build wealth and give. At this point, the money that you've got invested and the things that you're doing is building wealth anyways, right? Your 15% every month in mutual funds, that's growing rapidly by this point. Paying your home off, all these things, having money set aside for emergencies, so that so that basically you have everything set up. Nothing has to change with your investing because you have an emergency fund. Nothing has to change. So at this point, the wealth is going up and up and up. And of course, giving, there's nothing like giving. When you can give to a needy family or give to your church, it feels so good. And I've even heard of people, like Tony Robbins, as a matter of fact. He tells a story about at a point in time when he was out and he was down to his last, I don't know, say $10 or $15, and he ended up giving that to somebody who needed it. He felt more than he did, although he still needed to eat. And he, after that, just catapulted, and something, things just kind of fell in his lap. And this story goes, next thing you know, history, he's a billionaire. And but giving is great. It makes you feel good in your heart. It's really good for you. So let me just end it by saying I'm a firm believer in the baby steps. Again, I mentioned a couple things that I personally am including within those baby steps. Now he has reasons why he does it the way he does it. That's great. But depending on your situation, I can see maybe if you can throw in a little bit of real estate into that, something like that. So let me just recap it with baby step 1 is save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. Baby step number 2 is to pay off all of your debt except for your house using the debt snowball. Baby step number 3 is to save 3 to 6 months of expenses for a fully funded emergency fund. Baby step number 4 is to invest 15% of your household income into retirement. Baby step number 5 is to save for your children's college fund. Baby step number 6 is to pay off your home early. And baby step number 7 is to build wealth and give. So folks, there you have it. That's today's video. I hope you enjoy it. I would really appreciate it if you get anything out of this video, if you could hit the like button. That'll help the YouTube algorithm to get my videos out there. I'm going to keep pushing content out there. I'm going to keep pushing things that are relevant, things that people should know, could know, would know. And if you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe button at the same time. Hit the notification bell for notifications on when I'm posting. Thank you again. Appreciate it so much. Mad Money Murph signing out. Thanks again.